Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to Around the Turnbuckle. I'm the Big Alboski. That guy right there is Professor Keith, as always. And joining us is the Cotton Candy Princess, Tiffani Avatar. What's up, Tiffani?
Hello. How are you guys?
Oh, we are excellent. Our old friend David Motorman is here already. He's with a comment. David, Sunday night as we gather around the turnbuckle, and I'm excited to learn about the career of Tiffani Avatar. Besides, you can never have too much cotton candy in your life.
He does the best introductions, and we don't have to pay him a dime. It's great.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you very much. All right, so Tiffani, we watched you the last couple of months. Keith and I did. We were commentary for 3WA, and you had a couple back-to-back month matches with the women's champion at 3WA, Autumn Breeze. We were rather impressed with you, and we were rather impressed with you and Autumn Breeze together. So we're excited to see the third of that series of matches you guys got going on. But in the meantime, can we tell everybody, where did Tiffani Avatar come from?
So Tiffani Avatar originally started out in New Jersey. I started wrestling on Grimm's Toy Show there for, I think, like a year and a half. I did some time down there in LTW, and at some point I just kind of decided, like, if I'm gonna do this, like, I want to go everywhere and I want to be everywhere, and I can't do this without expanding myself. So I started wrestling for Kaiju Pro Wrestling, which was based out of New Jersey, now in Connecticut. And then from there, I debuted at Gen Pro Wrestling. I did a tryout a couple months ago, and that's kind of like what I think really blew everything up and kind of put eyes on me, was the Chosen Pro Wrestling tryout in New Jersey. I was the first person named to be chosen, so that was pretty cool.
Right.
I actually worked the Titan Championship Wrestling show that night. Unfortunately, I did have a bit of a seizure that happened, so that took me out for a little bit. But I've been back since May. I came back at Goddesses of War Wrestling, and since then, it's just go, go, go.
There you go.
So let's go back and talk about your training. How old were you when you first started training? You obviously love this business, because nobody that doesn't love this business get into it, because you put your body on the line for our entertainment each and every time you step through those ropes. So we all have respect for that, lots of respect for that. But tell everybody what made you pick professional wrestling in the first place to really get in there and shine the way you are so far.
I've been asked that a lot, like what made me pick it, and the more that I talk about it and the more that I think about it, I think pro wrestling chose me. Like, the first TV show I ever remember watching as like a 3-4-year-old kid was Monday Night Raw. And the first person that I have a memory of is seeing The Undertaker, and I was absolutely amazed and completely obsessed from the go. So I really think pro wrestling chose me. Like, it was destined. It was always a part of my childhood. My whole family would get together and watch WrestleMania. So I really think this chose me, and this is where I'm meant to be.
So who trained you? Where did you seek training? Like in the very beginning?
So I actually started in the very beginning. I did start training at Grimm's Toy Show. I started during the whole beginning of the whole COVID thing. So a lot of things were shutting down, but I had the opportunity to go there and even see, like, is this actually for me? Can I actually do this? It was a little rough for me the first couple months learning how to wrestle. A lot of it was like, I learned very basic things, and then, all right, here's a match, go. And you just kind of, a lot of it was figure it out from there. But then I moved to upstate New York where I did train at Extreme Wrestling Alliance. They ended up closing, so now I'm training at Standing 8 Entertainment in upstate New York here.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you. You mentioned that your Jersey roots. Is that where you were from originally?
Yes, originally I was from Jersey. Jersey was my home for about 26 years.
Because the professor and I are both Jersey boys as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So so we got that.
Northwest Jersey.
Right. But you're billed from Albany. You're now in upstate New York. So
Yes.
like when they announce you, they say from Albany, New York. So
Yes.
talk about that first match. Was it a small crowd, a big crowd? Was it somebody you were familiar with, or was it somebody you just met that night? Like, talk about that first story, that first match in front of an audience, in front of people.
I gotta be honest, I had a pretty bad concussion, and I don't remember my first match.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
Way to me to bring up a good memory.
Yeah. Way to fail, Al. Way to fail.
I remember one of my first matches was actually against one of my lifelong best friends, Francesca Chini. That was at LTW. It was a live show.
We know her, Keith.
We do actually. Yeah.
We know Francesca.
Yeah.
Haven't seen them in a while, but yeah, they used to be down here a lot.
And Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've known Francesca since about 2006. But I remember that was one of the first live matches I did. And it was crazy because, like, I get to finally wrestle my best friend. And we talked about it since meeting. Like, we both loved wrestling, wanted to do it. We always talked about it. So getting to go out there and then, like, I was first to the ring. So I got to experience her entrance and how much people really love to boo Francesca Chini. And I just remember, like, the bell rung and I was like, oh my God, this is, like, absolutely amazing. Like, I could cry right now because this is so crazy. I was definitely nervous, but as soon as we started going, like, I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, I can definitely do this.
So along the way, name some of the competition that you have encountered so far in your early career here.
Obviously, Francesca, Nakoma Tala, Air Spiral, Riley Crow, Autumn Breeze.
Right.
I'll be yeah, I don't really remember too much.
How long are you doing this for now?
Yeah.
Really started about 2021, I would say, is when I started doing live shows.
Okay. Because, yeah, like you said, you started training and then the pandemic came down and everybody kind of lost a year, almost 2 years on that because everything was shut. You couldn't do anything. And then, of course, there was the starts, there was the stops, there was the, okay, this can be open. Oh, no, wait, now it's not safe. It's got to be closed again. So everybody kind of lost out on some ring time there. So you're making a heck of a drive just to come down to 3WA and whatnot. I mean, are you primarily in New York, or are you kind of like bopping in the tri-state area, or?
So right now, most of my shows are actually in New Jersey.
Okay.
So I hit Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut for Kaiju Pro Wrestling. I try to go everywhere. I'm not really held down to, okay, I'm going to mainly wrestle in New York. Like, I want to be everywhere. So if an opportunity comes up and it's right for me, I'm absolutely going to take it.
That's the way to be. If you want to do this seriously, we say it all the time. And, you know, the people that we've talked to that are a little further along, a little more successful, we've had a couple of people on that have even had tryouts and dark matches with the bigger promotions and stuff. And they all say the same thing. It's invaluable to get yourself out there and get break into those other states, learn those styles you don't know. But it's tricky because obviously you're also trying to sort out like who's a good promoter, who's a scammer, who's a carny, who's this, who's that. Finding those good promotions that you can hook up with that are honest and trustworthy and are going to give you people that are going to help you learn and grow, so that you're not stuck at the same level forever because you're working with people that only know about as much as you do.
Absolutely. I think so far, like, I've been pretty good at sorting out, like, okay, this is a place I want to be, or hey, like, let's give it a shot and base it off of like how this first day goes. Because if you sometimes you show up to a promotion, you're like, this is kind of not great. I might not want to come back here.
Yeah.
But I've had some pretty decent luck in choosing the right places.
So over this about 2 year span now, would you say, is it accurate to say you've wrestled like as frequently as like once or twice a month, or less than that?
So definitely since January, I could say that it's been once or twice a month, if not more.
Right.
A lot of that last year, I was out a lot. I did take time off because my mom passed away, and I honestly
Sorry
really
to hear
want
that.
to do anything at all. So
Yeah.
I would say for the most part of last year, I didn't wrestle like at all. But since January, it's been probably 2 to 3 times a month. If I can hit more, I definitely try to. My ultimate goal is to wrestle as many times as I possibly can. So even if I can do 2 shows in one day, like, I would love to be able to do that.
What's the end game for you? Like, to me, like, when I ask that question, and it's sometimes it's a loaded gun, right? Because the easy answer is, I want to do this for a living. Like, I want to do this where, I can feed my family and have a great life and whatever. But for you personally, like, what do you want out of professional wrestling?
So obviously, yes, to what you said. Obviously, I want to be able to do this for a living. I don't want to have to, have another job where I have to split my time between the thing I love and being able to survive.
Yeah.
So I would love to be able to wrestle full time and not have to worry about anything. But I have a couple big goals that would tell me, like, if I hit those and then for some reason I have to stop, like, I would be okay. I definitely would like to make it to TV, not because I want to be famous or anything, but more so to prove to myself, like, hey, I can actually do this. Like, I can wrestle with the best people. And the best people are currently on TV right now. But my bigger goal to come out of this is for at least one person who had maybe grew up with as much anxiety and fears that I did to know that they can do it too. Like, I just want to be able to say, okay, I made at least one fan feel confident to go after their dreams. Or I made one person smile on a day that they were having the worst time of their life.
That's an inspiring thing to say, because you're meeting 2 guys right now who have done that. We conquered our fears. The professor will tell you that something he always wanted to do was call professional wrestling. And when I met him 10 years ago, that guy kind of kept to himself. He wasn't as outgoing as he is now. And he kind of has broken that shell. And not only did he break that shell, he jumped right out the window. And he's doing something that he loves to do. As for me, I always wanted to ring announce. And I'm 47 years old. And it took me that long to kind of be like, I don't know if I could stand in front of that crowd and actually, not freeze or whatever like that. So I got over that hump. And then now I actually ring announce for a local organization in Pennsylvania, which is amazing. And Professor and I are a commentary team for 3WA, which is amazing. That's not why we started this podcast, but because it's happened, we've made the best of it. So what you just said about somebody who's anxious, somebody who has issues with, things like that, to show others that if they want something bad enough, if they want to dream, chase a dream to inspire others, that's a great answer, because that's not saying Tiffani Avatar says, I want to be WWE Women's Champion someday. No, it's you want to inspire people, which is inspiring just hearing you say that. You know what I'm saying?
We won't say no to that women's title either.
No,
Oh, no.
I would be crazy to say no to
Right.
any women's championship. I do think that having a championship would definitely elevate my point and solidify, like, okay, guys, look, like, I can be a champion. You can absolutely start going after your dream. So
Absolutely.
I think having a championship would definitely help push what I want to push out there. But no, I'm not seeking it. Like, I've always told all of my friends and all of my buddies, like, when I go and I do these shows, I want to make sure that, especially fans that like come to see me, because there are people that do travel state to state, which is crazy, but they do
Yeah.
travel to come see me. But I always want to make sure that at least as many people as possible that I can make happy during that show, at least they were happy and felt positivity during my match.
Are there current wrestlers on TV, because you mentioned TV earlier, that might inspire you at this time? Like some wrestlers that you keep, maybe you keep tabs on, you watch their matches when you get a chance, perhaps?
Definitely. So a couple people out there, and I feel like I've said it so many times, everyone probably knows, but Mercedes, I've watched her since NXT. She's kind of like one of the big people that I watched and said, yeah, I definitely got to figure out how to get started now.
Yeah.
Along with Tommy Dreamer, I would go to shows and, he would always ask me if I was wrestling yet. And I was so scared. And I was just like, no, not yet. But I always watch Athena. I think she's a very, very hard-hitting, aggressive wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of like my jam. Like, if I can just go toe-to-toe with somebody and let's just knock each other around, like, that's goals right there. So I definitely, one day, Athena and me has to happen. But I also follow Trinity as well.
Right.
I like the glow. The glow makes me feel happy and positive, and I think the glow and a little bit of cotton candy magic could be absolutely fantastic.
You mentioned three talents that used to be on WWE that I think WWE made the mistake of letting go, because they have different, each one of them have auras, and you can't teach that. The ring works great on all three of those ladies. Amazing. Okay. Some of the best that's come through NXT and WWE and that system. But letting them go for the reasons that they did was wrong. And now look at them now, where they are now. They're having success wherever they go. They're going to have success, and that's a tribute to them. But I think Mercedes, what we've seen out of Mercedes since she's left WWE, I think she's happy as she's ever been.
Yeah, I think she's really been re-energized.
See, the thing with them leaving WWE is, yes, to us as fans, this is tragic. I didn't want to see any of them leave, but I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And while we look at it as, wow, WWE really screwed up and all this stuff, maybe it wasn't a screw up. Maybe it was, this is life telling them, like, there's something better in store for you. Right. And they all seem to be doing fantastic and amazing, and more importantly, like, they're happy where they are right now. Yeah. So I don't think it was a waste of anything. I think the WWE experiences that they did have and the matches they did have and the history that they all, contributed to is absolutely amazing. And it was just life and the stars aligning and saying it's time to move on.
And I think they could always come back. I think people forget about that too. Is sometimes it's a good idea to take that step away, go in a different direction. Like they used to say back in the day, go away and learn a new hold and come back. Because realistically, you can go out there and you can learn so much more and get so much more experience and then come back and be even better. I think that's something that has kind of been lost with the dominance of WWE and things like that, where we don't have the old territory system and whatnot, where it's like, okay, I've been in California for, 2 years and I've done everything I can do here. And maybe the audience is getting a little sick of me and the office is a little sick of me and I'm a little sick of everybody. And it's just hitting that point where there's nowhere to go but down. I'll go out to Kansas City, let's say, where they haven't necessarily seen me except in magazines, and I'll go out there and I'll rip Kansas City up for a couple of years and maybe go somewhere else, and then in 5 years or whatever, I can come back to California again, and I'm even bigger, I'm even better, and I have all these other experiences and all this knowledge that I've picked up that now I can use that, and I can come back in, and I'll be completely different to these people than I was before. I think sometimes that becomes the problem of national television and WWE and whatnot, is that it's harder to evolve and it's harder to get out of, I don't want to say pigeonhole, but get out of that box that people kind of place you in and the expectations they create when you have to try to do that in front of the same people that have watched you week after week after week after week. It's really hard to break out and do that next thing and say, no, I have more to offer than just what you've seen so far.
I definitely agree. I think that that's been an issue for a while, but I think there's quite a few people, that broke that mold. Like the Hardys, they left WWE, they went to Impact, they're in AEW now, and Drew McIntyre, he left WWE and from 3MB, which you take that for what it was. Some people think it's great, some people hate it. But he went to Impact and he came back a monster.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes
too, left WWE, went to AEW, came back to WWE, a whole different superstar. Even Toni Storm, not on to the same like dramatic scale as like Cody Rhodes, because she was already so big, but
right.
We saw what WWE, what she was doing in WWE, and then she goes to AEW and she's a whole champion, like she's a rock star over there. I think that mold of you get stuck places has definitely been cracking and breaking in such a significant way over the last couple of years that maybe it's not so much of an issue for wrestlers, aside from the obvious contract holds and how long did you sign on for, and obviously you're probably going to get stuck into that. But I think it's honestly like a lot of like the internet per se, like the internet fans, they kind of hold you into that they're going to be stuck there forever, because to us it feels, watching from the outside, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
And I mean, thankfully there's more places to work and there's more places to make money now, in the last few years. I don't always love Impact's product, but I don't want them to go out of business, because if they go out of business, everybody on their roster is going to have to find a job, and they're not going to all end in AEW or WWE. I have massive disagreements with a lot of the AEW product, but again, I don't want to see those people on the street. I don't want to see the promotion go down, because again, it's people are in a position to earn a living, and it's just not realistic to think if these promotions close down, WWE is just going to assume everybody's contract. No, why would they? You only have so many hours of television. You only have so many slots on your roster. We need more places opening up, not less. And that's one of the nice things. You mentioned the internet. I think the growth of streaming has been great for that, and I hope it continues in that direction, that more companies are able to figure out different ways via YouTube. I know there's some smaller promotions down south, even we've talked to people where they're like, we're getting our show on Fight, or we're getting our show
Fight TV.
Right, Fight TV, or we're getting our shows on this, that, or the other thing. And nobody's making a great living at it yet, but hopefully we can crack that nut and really start to see some money come out of that, and we can really start to see more promotions flourish, because that's what we need. There's no shortage of wrestlers, but there is a shortage of quality places for those wrestlers to go
So, yeah.
or make a living.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. I think
So,
streaming is definitely gonna, hopefully sooner than later, like really pick up, because there's so many companies that are on IWTV that are amazing, and Fight TV, and even MobFi has some pretty good companies out there. Like, people need to get eyes on these and not completely stick to, but WWE and AEW, they have their live shows, so let's watch those. Like, download these streaming apps, watch these shows, because you might be even more so impressed, and you might even see those guys from AEW or even Impact on those shows, because a lot of those places allow them to still travel and do the independent show.
Yep, we have Sunny Kiss coming in for the SWO. I just called
Yep.
One of her matches last month. I'll be calling another one this month, And also, too, you will see the stars of tomorrow and whatnot. Adam Page is a former world champion now, but there are people talking about, I was at that barn in, Carolina or whatever when he was starting out and he was nobody.
right.
Everybody
Absolutely.
starts somewhere, and you need the independence as that laboratory for people to figure stuff out, because, my God, do you not want somebody that's 1 or 2 years in figuring stuff out on national television and making that
Right.
the first impression to people? My God, that's just a complete disservice. This thing is hard, and it takes practice to really get good and really get to a place where you're not watching your stuff back and going, ooh.
Absolutely. And even to that point of Adam Cole, I was going to shows in Jersey, and I saw Casey Navarro before he was, MLW, and doing all the crazy cool things that he's doing.
Yep.
So, Tiffany, for those who have never seen you wrestle, please tell them what to expect when they see the Cotton Candy Princess come down to a ring in their neighborhood.
Oh boy. Okay. So the first
You're on
thing
the spot. Why don't you?
What I
you can
do.
expect is a lot of happiness, a lot of positivity. I try to make sure when I come out, like, everybody feels happy. Like, with this hair, like, how can you not, first of all? But when I get in that ring, like, I feel like everybody knows how serious I am. And I think Autumn Breeze, especially, you guys have seen, like, once you get, like, don't irritate me. Like, I'm going for the win, and if you do something that I'm immediately irritated, you're gonna get what Autumn Breeze got, and that's that Sour Patch mode that I keep trying to tell people about. Do not activate the Sour Patch mode, because that's when we get real feisty and real sassy.
We have certainly seen that. Now, your last couple matches with Autumn Breeze have wound up inconclusive. We had the first match was a double pin. Last month, it was a double count out, which, like you said, you were in full-on Sour Patch mode, and so was Autumn. You ladies kind of forgot where you were and just went at it outside the ring, and unfortunately were counted out. This month, coming up at the end of August here, what day is it? I don't remember.
26th, maybe?
26th.
Yes, the 26th. So on the 26th in Quakertown, women's title on the line again. No disqualification this time. No count outs. We're going to have a winner here, we hope.
There's going to be a winner.
There's going to be a winner in this one. Okay, it's guaranteed.
You're talking to the winner, I think.
Absolutely. There's no better option or solution that I will accept than me winning. Here's the thing. Look at the first match, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, double pin. Whose arm covered whose first? That was mine. My arm absolutely covered hers first.
Got it.
Okay. Look at the double count out. She could have done the right thing and stayed in the ring and let me get back in there and continue that fight. She wanted to come out and keep trying to keep me from getting back in that ring, which is why I smashed her face in with my elbows. Like, she caused that double count out. She knows it. I know it. So match 3, the Cotton Candy Princess is walking away with that title because it rightfully should be mine.
Well, there you have it. Not a prediction, but a statement.
There
It
you
is
go.
absolutely a statement.
It's not a
If
prediction,
that
Keith. It's a spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
1000%. That title goes with nobody but me. And you know what else? I think if you really listen to like how the crowd reacts to me, they know it's coming and they're more than ready for it.
Yeah,
Very possible. I mean, Autumn's been on top of the mountain for over a year now.
over a year.
She's put down every challenger that's come so far. We've seen her have some absolute wars, but we've never seen her in a situation like this. We've never had two defenses that were inconclusive. So certainly, I'm not going to go as far as to say you have her number. I'm trying to be professional and unbiased here. But certainly, you've given her a challenge unlike anyone else has thus far.
Absolutely. And you may not want to be biased and say that I have her number, but she knows and I know that I more than have her number. I know everything that this girl could throw at me, but she does not have a single clue as to what I can fully do.
I said it in commentary the first time you wrestled her. Just by your reputation, I was worried for the welfare of Autumn Breeze. And now you guys have fought twice now to no clear-cut winner. So now hopefully at the end of August, the 26th in Quakertown, we're going to get a winner, a new champion, as my prediction. But that being said, though, if people wanted to see you wrestle that aren't around Quakertown or near Quakertown, is there other places that you're going to be wrestling in the near future, like near you in New Jersey, perhaps?
Yes. So hold on, let me try to get this in order in my head here, because so obviously we have August 26th will be Quakertown, Pennsylvania, 3WA, where I absolutely will be taking that women's championship from Miss Autumn Slight Breeze. August 13th, I will be in upstate New York, in Glens Falls, New York. We will be doing something that is to be announced, so watch out for my socials for that. That's going to be pretty cool. So if anybody can make it, wrestler, fan, anybody, definitely try to work your way up here. September 3rd, I will be in Gloucester City. Sorry, I'm not too sure how to pronounce that, but I'll be
said it right.
in New Jersey for We Are One Wrestling. I'm super excited about that. And then September 16th, and I love working with this company, Goddesses of War. I will be taking on Taylor One Shot.
There you go. I want to special shout out to Titan Championship Wrestling, who just, while we were having this conversation, shared this podcast right out on their page. So thank you, Titan Championship Wrestling.
Thank you, guys.
You've crossed paths with them. I'm assuming.
Titan is like my home.
Yeah.
Titan, Goddesses, Chosen, and Kaiju Pro Wrestling. Those are the companies where you'll see me the most. Those are my homes. Like, to me, those guys are all family. Like, they've always made sure that I'm good. So as long as they do that for me, I'm always going to be there for them.
Mike Bucciaroni's here. He says, love the confidence. Autumn Slight Breeze. Ha ha ha.
Listen, I'm just being honest.
Chad Fegley's here. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? How you doing, Chad?
Hi, Chad.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. And send in your questions while we still have Tiffani Avatar on here. She'll be on here for another. Look at that.
Say hi, Nemo.
Hi, Nemo.
They never want to cooperate, ever.
Well, that's what I think sometimes. But usually when he hears me doing these for a while, he comes up behind me and tries to peek his little head up.
Yeah, he's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening?
You can also catch Nemo at Goddesses of War on September 16th. He will be there. He's been highly requested. This cat is more famous than I am, and I'm not even famous, but I brought him to my Goddesses of War debut, and he took more pictures with people than people asked for me.
Love it.
Don't eat flowers, bud. Thank you.
I can't help but ask the question: did you ever cross paths with the vivacious, vicious Vicky down there?
Not yet, but I'm trying. I'm trying. I think it's definitely destined to happen. I do know Vicky a little bit. I used to watch her at Goddesses before I was on there. I think a match is definitely in our future. Hopefully by the end of the year.
Yeah, I recently talked to her about a month ago about coming on our show here because she was on our show here about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And what she's done in those 2 years is awesome.
Absolutely.
And she can do anything she wants in this business if she has. I know that she had a tryout with AEW, and I know that she also, is just driving. She's just tracing that brass ring. Meanwhile, while she's doing that, she's having these phenomenal matches in New Jersey, among other places. And but I just, when I hear Titan and I hear Goddesses of War, I think of her, and so that's why I thought you might have crossed paths with her. El Monchero's here, the brand new 3WA High Impact Champion.
Good afternoon.
What's up? What's up, JCM? How are you, sir? Yeah. So yeah, he will also be in Quakertown on August the 26th, and the professor and I will be calling that no disqualification, no count out 3WA Women's Heavyweight Championship match with you and Autumn Breeze. So we're looking forward to that too. If people want to get in touch with you to book you and things like that, where can they do so?
So Facebook Messenger has seemed to be the most effective for booking me. So if you add me on Facebook, Tiffani Van Wagner or Tiffani Avatar, I'm on both of those pages. So if you're looking to book me and you're trying to get in contact sooner than later, definitely that. You can contact me on Instagram at Tiffani Avatar, or email me directly, tiffaniavatar@gmail.com.
So even though you've only been really wrestling in front of people for like about 2 years, is there a match so far that stands out in your mind that you really enjoyed? Like the crowd was great, everything kind of smooth, great. You got good chemistry with your opponent, like everything went well. Like, because I know in the course of performing, there will be times where you have matches that don't go so well. So was there ever that match so far that you might label your favorite match or the match that stands out for you so far?
So I have two matches that stand out for me. Chosen Pro Wrestling, I wrestled Journey Burke.
Journey Burke, Esquire.
Yes, I think we worked so well together that, like, I'll do that match with her over and over and over again until the end of time, because I think it'll always be a great match, and every time we do it, I think it'll continue to get better and grow into something even better. But I also have a match that I did with Eris Spiral at, I believe, Kaiju Pro Wrestling, or it was LTW. I honestly can't remember which one it was. But she's another person that hits just as hard as I do, and she's one person that I know, like, we'll go toe to toe, and it could turn out to another Autumn Brew situation where maybe we do end in no contest, because we're pretty equal opponents there, and we could fight all day long and still not come to a conclusion. So she's definitely somebody else that I love to work and would definitely work again.
Also, Chad is here. He says you and Autumn Breeze should tear the house down at the next Triple WA show. Who is your dream opponent, past or present, says JCM?
Right now, definitely Mercedes, and definitely Athena and Trinity. That's my goals. Those are my dreams, that I need those matches. On a more realistic scale, I would definitely say Vicious Vicky. I know we talked about her earlier, but she knows I've told her straight up, like, I want to wrestle you. She's one of my dream opponents because she's the first female wrestler that I saw at Goddesses of War, and I still remember her entrance and when she came out and how she captivated that crowd. Like, I know that whenever we have a match, it will be just as magic as when I saw her.
Yeah, she has some kind of it factor. Like anytime I've seen, like I haven't seen her wrestle live, but I've watched a lot of her video. You know, a lot of her matches on video, and she has a presence. And I've also talked to wrestlers who have wrestled her, and they talk about her. They talk about learning from her. They talk about just the aura of her, like when she comes out, like you said. So yeah. That's something that obviously, you know, you want that same aura. You want that when you walk out. Oh my God, here's the Cotton Candy Princess. You know what I'm saying? Like, by the way, this Chad that's been asking you all these questions is the Roadblock Chad McCoy. I don't know if you know that, but yeah.
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Chad's figured out the internet. Yay!
Yeah, Chad figured out the internet because that's his first time commenting on YouTube here on our show. So welcome aboard, Roadblock. It's glad to see you. Good to see you last night at a wrestling event. He wrestled Malcolm King. Not that he hasn't wrestled Malcolm King 600 times, but you know, but it was, you know,
maybe Malcolm King should stop messing with him then.
Yeah, it's always good to see him though. And it was really good seeing him last night. But yeah, we are looking quite forward to that match with you and Autumn Breeze on August 26th in Quakertown. And the 3WA fans, any of them that we've talked to, the regulars, the ones that come there every now you said you had some fans try. We noticed. Keith and I noticed there was a group that came just to watch you wrestle, which is great. But the 3WA fans are starting to, like, you know, keep their eye on you and ask questions and say, you know, who is she? Where's she come from? And that was why I wanted to get a hold of you to come on here so you can tell them your story and tell them who you are about, because quite frankly, in a couple of weeks you might be the 3WA Women's Champion. So they better know who they better know who you are.
No,
there's no might. I like the confidence.
No,
you have to
will absolutely be the new 3WA Women's Champion.
Chad's texting Autumn Breeze right now.
Text her. Listen, she wants to join the chat. I will tell her.
Oh, we definitely see the rising star. There it is.
Mike knows.
Mike knows. You know.
Nice to see her letting him out of the original family clubhouse every so often.
Sounds like Mike's jumping on the Cotton Candy Princess bandwagon, I think, Keith.
There's absolutely no reason not to. Like, I'm sorry. I have, like, the coolest hair on the face of the planet.
My daughters love your hair, by the way.
Super fun. And I like to kick people in the face. Like, what else? And not for nothing, I give out candy, and I don't see Autumn Breeze doing anything like that.
That's true. My daughters asked me who I was having on around the turnbuckle tonight. I showed them your picture. My stepdaughter Natalia says, "Oh, I love the hair." Right away. It was like, "Oh, I love the hair." So, and girls, if you're watching, I don't know if you're watching downstairs. So, hi, girls. I'm not sure if you are or not, but that's Tiffani Avatar down there. Say it loud for the back row. Yeah.
See, even your 3WA champion knows.
Yep.
Change is coming. And
he's a high impact champ.
I am the change that has been needed for so long. So long. I can feel it every time I'm there. This is what needed to happen. Tiffani Avatar needed to be in 3WA to dethrone Autumn Slight Breeze.
I can't disagree with that because, like, you know, for 14 months now, 15 months, whatever it's been, she's been champion. All kinds of women come in. They try to dethrone her. They haven't been able to succeed, obviously. You come in And right away, it's an immediate impact. There was no clear winner the first time. The second time, obviously, you guys just had some animosity. You're fighting outside the ring. What you said was she was scared. Maybe she was. I can't say that. I can't speak for her. But, you know, if she was scared, the evidence is there. You fought outside the ring, double count out, match is over. She keeps her title. Next month, well, this month, she's not going to have any excuse. All right. Like, you know, the end of August, she's not going to have any excuse. We're going to see, you know, who the better woman is, so to speak.
Well, I think the best thing to say to that is you're already looking at her. I had her beat that first match.
Yeah.
She kept me from being able to get back in the second match. You would only do that if you felt your title reign ending.
I think you're right. A good inspirational athlete. Yep, her star will rise as we avoid the Sour Patch mode. Her hair is much cooler than mine. David, you don't have any hair.
He's got hair. You just can't see it.
Hair.
Yeah. It'll be a battle to witness. I wish you luck, girl, says JCM.
Thank you.
Chad McCoy's back. The two best play-by-play guys on the independents. Good young and up-and-coming young lady in the rain. Just keep your nose to the grindstone.
That man knows. That man knows.
I love it. I love his opinion of us, Keith, because
Chad's the best.
yeah, he has, like last night, you know, he came up to me, gave me some words. Every time I see him, he gives me more and more words of encouragement. So, young and upcoming young lady says, you know, I think that means that he's rather impressed by Tiffani Avatar. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the business now for 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years plus. I mean, he's probably going to yell at me. So it's been 40, whatever. I don't want anybody to tell you how old you are, Chad. So, but yeah.
He's the wise man in the locker room.
30 plus years. That's a brain that you should sit down and have a chat with and pick. And that's another thing I was going to ask you before.
Especially because he is super approachable. I mean, absolutely super approachable. Nicest guy on the planet. Loves to share. Loves to talk shop. Yeah. Yeah.
Has there been chances for you to pick some brains over the past couple years going to these shows?
I've talked to a couple of people. Obviously, I've talked to Tommy Dreamer a couple of times, kind of briefly, but I did talk to him. I've talked to Gangrel again very briefly, but I did have opportunity to talk to him. When I met Athena, I did get to talk to her. She was in WWE at that time.
Right.
So there's been a couple of people that I've had opportunity to talk to. And I think the further I go, the more opportunity there will be. Obviously I've met a couple more people, but sometimes I get in my social anxiety and I don't really know what to say in those moments. So I'm just like, hi, you're great. Okay, bye. Like I met Becca, international pop star Becca. I'm having a pro wrestling grind, and I was like, I don't know what to say, so I'm gonna say hi because, like, obviously you want to introduce yourself, but social anxiety hit big because she's somebody that I would love to be able to, like, take a deep breath and be like, okay, like, I want to learn from you. Like, what can you pass on to me? But I didn't expect to, like, run into her at the time that I did. So my brain was like, system overload.
Yeah. I have a similar encounter. One of my favorite movies of all time is Back to the Future. And at a Philadelphia Comic-Con, I got to meet Christopher Lloyd, who plays Doc Brown.
That's awesome.
And as I'm standing in line, people are just glomming over him. They're like, you know, he's 80 at this point, and he's like, you know, and people are glomming over him like, oh, I love you so much, and Doc Brown, blah blah blah, and this and that. And some people were mentioning this, some people. So I was trying to come up with something that nobody else was saying. Like everybody kept saying, oh, I loved you in Back to the Future, or I loved you in Taxi. And people were saying different things to try to pique his interest. So I wanted to say something that he'll remember. And I got up there and I froze. And I was like, hi, Christopher. My name is my name is Alan. I didn't know what to say after that. But my line I had in my head was, I really, really loved you in Dennis the Menace. Because that's probably one he doesn't get a lot of praise for. But I didn't even get to say it. And I said, and he signed my thing, and I said, nice to meet you, sir. Have a nice day. And I walked away. And me and Keith's mutual friend Susie said, so did you talk to him? I'm like, no. And I almost started, I had tears in my eyes. I didn't even get to talk to him at all. I froze. I completely starstruck froze, like I'm standing in front of him like that. It was crazy. But Keith, an old friend of yours is here named Classic Johnny Potter.
He's stalking us again.
He's stalking you. And he says, how are we doing tonight? Classic Johnny Potter, by the way, will be our guest next Sunday on Around the Turnbuckle. And he says that he has his state of professional wrestling address to give us, Keith.
Mm-hmm. We have no control over what Classic Johnny Potter says. just getting that out of the way now, just in case.
Yes, but you can, rebut his commentary. So it should be an interesting thing. I'm just gonna have my popcorn ready. All right, I'm gonna put my frame down where Tiffany's is.
I'm sure.
I'm gonna put Classic Johnny Potter up here, and I'm gonna be down there going like this.
Yep.
Because I'm sure at some point somewhere in there it's going to be like, and if Professor Keith were fired from commentary, the business would get so much better instantly. I know he's going to do it. I know it. I know he's going to do it.
All right. Well, Tiffani, is there anything that we did not talk about that you would like to talk about before we get out of here?
I think we hit everything.
Okay.
Very good.
Just making sure, because I might, in all the fun we've been having, like that hour went by like that. So
it really did, but that's what happens when you have a good conversation.
Love it.
I think we hit everything. The only thing I'm sad about is Autumn Slight Breeze didn't join us.
Yes, sometimes she checks in live, but I know she had a rough night last night. At a different wrestling event, a different show, she was there, and she was involved in a ladder match where she actually lost her women's title in another fed. So she had a rough night. So she might be recovering from that today.
Everything happens in threes. You've lost one title, Autumn. You've got one more.
Here we go. Hey, one more from Chad McCoy. He says, "Hey kids, I made 61 and looking around the locker room last night for my age, I was still in the best shape anybody back there. And anytime, Tiffani, you can ask any question anytime. There you go."
Thank you. I appreciate you, Chad.
Awesome. There it is. We'll see you in Q-Mart. Best of luck.
Thank you, Mike.
There it is. All right. Professor, you got any parting gifts for the Cotton Candy Princess?
I just want to thank you for coming on and hanging out with us for the hour. I don't know if we talked about where did the idea for the Cotton Candy Princess come from. I don't think we covered that. Just the hair. You had the hair before, and you kind of crafted it from that, or the idea came and then the hair.
So the idea first came because, one, I absolutely love cotton candy. Always have. That's like my favorite thing about going out to like county fairs and stuff. But these colors, a mixture of these and like blue, pink, and purple have been my hair color consistently since 2016. And I actually used to do this blue, and this side would be purple, and it would kind of like ombre into it. And when I worked at Target and when I was doing Grimm's Toy Show, they called me and the internet dubbed me the Mermaid Queen. So I was the Mermaid Queen for the better part of, I believe, summer of 2019 to 2021. And then I changed the purple to the pink. And I was like, well, I don't really feel like a mermaid queen, but I do feel like a cotton candy princess.
There you go. There you go.
Right now, I'm pretty sure we covered everything.
All right. All right, Tiffany, don't go anywhere when we go off the air, all right?
Absolutely.
Professor, next week on the hot seat, as you know by that flashing line across the bottom of the screen there, the state of professional wrestling with classic Johnny Potter. Are you as excited as I am?
Oh, it's going to be something. He's been sharpening his knives. I know that. He won't stop talking about it on social media. So
He absolutely will not. We love it. All right. If you want to see more of the Cotton Candy Princess, get your asses down to Quakertown on August the 26th, where she meets Autumn Breeze for the 3WA Women's Championship. No disqualification, no count out. And it's my opinion that she'll capture the 3WA Women's Championship that night. So you don't want to miss that. Get your tickets. They go fast. Contact 3WA. You can contact them on their website, or they have a phone number on the poster on the Facebook page. There's a phone number at the bottom. You can reserve your seats. For the Professor and the Cotton Candy Princess, Tiffani Avatar, I'm the Big Alboski, and we will see you next Sunday at 6 for another edition of Around the Turnbuckle. Bye, everybody.
You think you know me?
Oh, yeah. If you smile. Woo! Calculations